Guys, it's Mike Phillips, your Living Legend 7 New Empire General, and we've got questions coming in now. Obviously, we're about 3 weeks out right now from Living Legends. Let me go through the same spiel. Living Legends takes place May 16th through May 18th, 2014. It is played at CPX Sports, which is located about 45 minutes southwest of Chicago, Illinois, in a town called Joliet. You can fly into either Midway or O'Hare. Both airports are almost the exact same distance away. The entry, I believe, is $75 per person, and case of paint is $80 per person at the game day event. If you pre-register at livinglegendsofpaintball.com, you can get a discount on both your entry and also your case of paint. Save a little bit of money in the line because all your information is already going to be there. You're not going to have to fill out as much stuff. Definitely recommend registering pre-registering in advance at livinglegendsofpaintball.com. And if you're looking for a team to join, sign up for New Empire. We'll definitely put you to work. So it's going to be an awesome game. Okay, this is going to be for the players that are traveling. I did a show a long time ago about traveling. This is going to be a quick show recapping that. A lot of people are starting to panic. What is the biggest concern for paintball players when you are traveling? The biggest concern is your tank, okay? Your tank. The regulations say that your tank needs to have the regulator removed. I believe the Value Jet accident that happened a long time ago had to do with a tank blowing a burst disc in the cargo hold, pressurizing the cargo hold, blew out the bottom of the airplane, and the plane went down. So obviously having tanks that are not pressurized and having the regulators removed is the most important thing, okay? I've got a tank here. This is a Ninja tank. What we'll do here is we'll just go ahead. I've got a little bit of air in here, so we're just going to okay. I'm going to show you how simple this is. If you do not have a tank, or if you have a tank and your regulator is Loctited onto the bottle, which is how about 90% of the tanks come from the manufacturer, you need to start moving right away to try to figure out what you're going to do with that. The first thing I would suggest to do is see if you can get the tank to the tank manufacturer, or to if you're close to Crossfire, if you're close to Ninja Paintball, if it's a dye tank, if it's not Planet Eclipse, I'm sorry, a Empire tank. You need to get that tank to the manufacturer so that they can break the regulator loose. It's extremely difficult. They have special tools, special clamps, so they don't damage the tank, they don't damage the regulator. I have heard of some people doing some things where they put massive strap wrenches on there, they remove the gauge, they go to Home Depot, they match the threads up, screw it back in, they break it loose that way. That I would consider that a last case resort. This being 3 months out or 3 weeks out, you still have time to ship it to the manufacturer, have them break the reg loose and send it back. I would call them ahead of time to make sure that they know that your tank is coming so that they can break the reg loose and send it back to you. And also, depending on what kind of tank you have, Gorilla Air, stuff like that, you may be able to even get your reg serviced so that you don't have to worry about blowing burst discs while you're out there on the field. So, what you want is, we're just going to drain the last of this tank out. If you already have your, once you get your tank back, this is basically what you want to do. You want to make sure there's no air in your tank whatsoever. And once there's no air in your tank, you just want to remove the regulator. Me, by habit, when I purchase my tanks, I always ask to make sure that the regulators are broken loose so that way I can remove them. Okay, regulator is off the tank. This is now just an empty cylinder. If you go to the check-in line and they ask, what do you have in your luggage? You tell them it's paintball gear. The first thing they'll ask you is, do you have any cylinders? Yes, I do. The regulators are removed. This way you can show that you've got nothing more than an empty tank here. The regulator's removed. There's no chance of this thing blowing a burst disc while in flight. Okay. If time just sneaks up on you, okay, and if you can't get your regulator or your tank back in time, there's no chance of you getting it broken off. You can ship the tank to your hotel, okay? So if you're, let's say you're staying at, let's say La Quinta Inn, okay? If you go to the post office and you tell the person at the post office, listen, I need to ship this tank to La Quinta Inn, or ship this a box to La Quinta Inn, but I also need to purchase the label to be able to ship it back. You'll be able to ship the tank to La Quinta Inn for instance, and then when you're at La Quinta Inn and you're checking out, let's say Monday morning, and you don't get the regulator broken off at the event if Ninja's not there or something like that, you can simply leave it at the front desk, and the clerks at the front desk will mail it out the next time the post office comes over. So that's a last-ditch effort thing if you don't want to do that. Another thing you can do, I do know that Ninja Paintball is going to be at this. They're based in Chicago. They're not too far away from CPX. I believe they are going to be at the event. You can order your tank from Ninja Paintball, call them up, order your tank ahead of time, pay for the tank ahead of time, so that way you're not rushing to the event and then they sell out of tanks and now you're screwed. Order your tank ahead of time, pay for your tank ahead of time, and Ray and or one of the other folks from Ninja Paintball will have your tank there with your name on the box, with the reg removed, and then you can just get it right there maybe on Friday, and then you're good to play. So you've got a couple different options here. Ship it to the manufacturer ahead of time, get the reg broken loose, mail it to your hotel, and then mail it back, that's kind of a scary thing, or purchase a new tank from Ninja Paintball. They make amazing tanks. All my tanks are Ninja Paintball. I love the regulators. Bottles are great. Order a tank from Ninja Paintball. Have them waiting it for you. It's either Ray or Nate will take good care of you, and you'll pay for it ahead of time. They'll write your name on the box, and when you get to the event, you can pick it up from there. Okay, storing paintball gear in your luggage. Obviously, paintball markers, you do not want to bring them in your carry-on luggage. You want to check it, which means you pay the luggage fees, except for Southwest. Southwest doesn't charge luggage fees. You want to have this thing put underneath the plane. You do not want it on you when you're trying to go through security. It's a bad idea. As a habit, I like to remove the barrels from my paintball markers. I like to set that in a separate spot, and I've never had any problems whatsoever, whether traveling over the border to go to Canada for Canadian Carnage or flying to events. I've never had any problems whatsoever as long as I have my marker with the barrel removed, regulator disconnected from the tank. Never had any problems whatsoever. So if you put your tank in your bag with the regulator attached, as many people have found out, they've showed up to wherever it was that they were going, and their tank was missing from their baggage. So, if they x-ray and see it, they're going to crack your bag open. If they see the regulator on there, you are risking them confiscating it at best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you could end up in handcuffs, okay? So there is a law that says you cannot bring pressurized cylinders on the plane. So depending on who scans your baggage and depending on who they're trying to impress, you might have, air marshals or the police waiting for you when you land for trying to sneak on a pressurized air cylinder and breaking the law for trying to sneak on a pressurized air cylinder that's not stored properly. Okay, enough of that. Last thing I'll talk about is my personal favorite types of gear bags to travel with are these plastic tubs right here, okay? You can get these plastic tubs for about $25 from Walmart, and when you measure them, they are the exact measurement to almost the millimeter of the maximum size that you can bring on an airplane. And the best part about them is they're hard-sided. Okay, so when stuff starts banging into them, you can see some of my things here. They've got impact marks all over the place from other bags hitting them, things slamming into them. You can see some of these lighter marks here all over the place where things have slammed into them and stuff like that. They're hard-sided, so when they stack things on top of them, it's not going to smush your stuff that's inside of the bag like if you put your goggle in your bag. I recommend carrying your goggle on the plane, especially your bottoms. Just clip them to your backpack or whatever you're bringing, just leave them off to the side. That way your goggles don't come out all deformed. These things are cheap. You can ship them, which I have. I've shipped this. You can see I've got an empty FedEx label on here. I've shipped these things. They're great. You can put a padlock on them. There's a place right here where you can run a padlock, whether you want to use a key lock or you want to use a combination lock. You can put a padlock on them. I love these things for traveling, and the best part too is that usually a standard gear bag can weigh anywhere between 6 to 11 pounds. This only weighs about 2 pounds, so you can put about 48 pounds worth of gear in here without getting your over the limit fees. They hold a ton of stuff. I mean, it's the maximum size that you can get on the airplane. It's the lowest weight that you can get on the airplane. It's only 2 pounds, and it's hard-sided and protects all your gear. I know it's not, it's not this like Louis Vuitton type shit looking all, pretty wooden boxes that they used to have back in the day, but you know, I'm kind of a function over form type guy. So hopefully that helps you get your stuff to your Living Legends safely. You know, I don't want to see anybody getting arrested or anything like that. And that's about it. So that's been the biggest question now. People are starting to get into panic mode as the event's getting closer. Those are your 3 options on your tank. If you need something to travel with, pick these up. It's a great investment. They stack up nice, and they just these things just work amazing for $20. So hopefully that helps. Thank you.